Okay, we are live just a couple minutes before showtime. Give me time to get everything organized here in copacetic. Let me just make sure that everything is broadcasting the way it should be. Just getting the stream started in the other browser here just so that I can confirm everything is operational. Meanwhile, you're looking at the 002 stunner, on the screen. And it looks like we've got good audio. And it looks like we've got a couple of people in the chat. And we are going to be joined by Steve from Little Treasury Jewelers. Steve from Little Treasury Jewelers, and that is always a treat. We'll see what he has up his sleeve. And let me make sure that I've got Skype ready to go. And it is, in fact, booted up and ready to go. So we're going to start out this week on a Monday with a fantastic show, a really big show, folks. Little Treasury Jewelers. He's going to be coming in, Skyping in from Gambrels, Maryland, beautiful downtown Gambrels, Maryland. If you haven't been out to his facility, it is world class. And if he invites you to an event, do not pass go. Do go to the event because they are amazing. In a word, amazing. And some members of the Wrench Gang have already been there. Triforce Rich is in the house. He says the mighty Steve and incredible Craig are live. Well, yeah, Steve's not here yet, but hopefully he will be soon. And Stig says, looking forward to seeing the Seiko LX. I've got some thoughts on the Seiko LX and some things I want to run by Steven. And by the way, he caught the typo on my graphic. Oops-a-daisy. I have even instead of an event. Haste makes waste. Well, see, next time what he'll do is instead of just emailing me the picture of the watch, he'll email me the entire thumbnail. And then I'll just put the thumbnail up. And I won't have to create anything. See, when Craig has to create things, that's when things go downhill fast. Stig was all over the place, too. He said, good evening, Craig, Steve, and everybody. All right. Well, we are having a fantastic Monday. It is humid here. Matter of fact, we've got some thunderstorms that might be coming in, and this could be the last of the heat. This heat wave we've had. It's been a kind of a humidity wave, very humid the last couple days, and so tomorrow and the next day I think it's supposed to be rainy, and then we're supposed to get some cool weather coming in. And this spring drive, this 231 stunner that's on my wrist right here, it handles temperature changes very well. Let's get a close up here. Although it is not technically temperature compensated, I have found that year-round, this 231 stunner is amazingly accurate. So I've got some questions for Steve about comparing this 231 stunner to some of the LX stunners and what Seiko's all about with bringing out these high-end Seikos. Up in the price range of Grand Seikos. Leon says, I was at that event. My wallet can breathe easy. Nothing that was shown was anything I would buy for that cost. There you go. Leon got in and out without his wallet being drained. That takes skill. That takes skill to be able to do that, to be able to have the ability to resist temptation. So, did you see any, while you were there, did you see any Grand Seiko stunners? Did you get a chance to look at an 002 in person? An 002 in person. Very few people have laid eyes on an 002 in person. In the flesh. Very few people in these United States of America have had the pleasure of doing that. Let's see here. Triforce, Craig, if Rolex came out with a movement more accurate than the spring drive, would you toss the GS to the side? Well, there are other benefits to the spring drive, not just the accuracy. There's the durability, the longevity, the the fact that there's no escapement and all that. So if they did something similar that was as robust as the spring drive, we still got the super case to deal with. I don't like the super case. And so if I was buying a sport watch, for example, that knocks out a lot of their sport watches. It doesn't knock out the Yachtmaster. But the Yachtmaster has some other issues. I don't like the polished center links. So really, from an all-around sport watch standpoint, it is hard to top the 231. We've talked about this. We've talked about the attributes of the 231. It is insanely difficult to top it. So, yeah, if they could come out with something that would top the 231, for example, if it had all the attributes of the 231, but it was like 12 millimeters thick instead of 14, that would be interesting, right? There's some things they could do to improve the 231. Yeah, I would look. I always have. I'm always looking for upgrades. I'll put it that way. Always look. Speaking of upgrades, I can't wait for the new Sony, the A7S Mark III. I'm on the waiting list at B&H. I do not pre-purchase on there. I just get on the list for them to notify me when it's in stock, because I'd rather wait for a bunch of other people to get them on the pre-order list and all that, and make sure that they like put them through the paces and make sure that there are no runs, drips, or errors, and that the camera's ready to go. And then also sometimes they'll cut the price fairly quick on those things. The retail on that one is $3,500 for the camera body. In pretty short order, they usually come out with packages where you buy the camera with a lens and you get a nice discount. So since I'm looking to get also a lens with it, that might be a play. So there you go. I was at the, okay, I read that. Okay, I'm getting caught up here. The cost of those Seiko spring drive movements are too close to the price of GS spring drive. If I was spending that money, I would rather spend a bit more for the GS. There you go, Leon in the house. Those Seiko branded spring drive models need to be $3,000 to $4,000 for the non-limited models. Okay, Leon's in the house. I think they're pretty much all pretty limited. All those high-end, expensive Seikos, I think they're pretty much all limited. So yeah, we'll get some more details from Steve on it. Leon's in the house. Lance says, hello, Craig and all. And Stig says, Leon, are we comparing steel Seiko and titanium GS? We will see. That's a good question. Let's see. Lance says, my tastes are simple. I simply like the best. I don't blame you one bit, Leon. I don't blame. Life is too short to not have the best. And Dryforce Rich is hanging around. He says, I'll stick with my Deep Sea. It allows me to bypass the strict California carry laws. It is basically a 44 Magnum strapped to my wrist. I hear you. Yeah, that will. We talked about that. That will absolutely double as brass knuckles. My wife wears the GS Seiko now. Bought her a custom HD strap. Photo time. Photo or it didn't happen. You know what they say. So that is cool. Cool. I wonder if HD straps, and this is sacrilege, right, to talk this. I wonder if HD straps would make a strap for the Apple Watch. Wonder if that's the case. Get one for Bree's Apple Watch that is incoming. It's not going to be here for, 3 weeks. Two and a half weeks, something like that. I think 3 weeks, actually. Like the third week in October, for gosh sakes. We are almost in October. Is that freaking amazing, folks? Time flies when you're having fun. It's going to start getting cold. That's not going to be fun. There's Steve calling in. Let's get him up on the computer. On the computer. Let's pull Steve up. And let me get my headset here. Steve, hello. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Testing. I don't know if he can hear me. I can hear him, I think. I hear some breathing. He hasn't said anything yet. So hopefully he'll
Hello.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
And once
You can't
again,
hear me?
I have a
You,
little
you got to go into the
issue hearing
Skype
you.
settings.
So,
He's got to go into the Skype settings and tell it where to get the audio from. That's what he's having trouble with.
and give me a moment.
Skype settings. Somebody tell him in the chat he's got to go into the Skype settings.
Okay, I'm
And
good.
you got it?
Yep. Can
Yeah.
you? How's my sound?
So you sound great. So it was just a
Good.
Skype thing, right? You just had to go in and define it where the audio is coming from.
Yeah, I got to really listen to you on the laptop speaker.
Oh,
It's not coming.
wow. Okay. All right. There you
Yeah,
go.
but whatever it takes. So,
Okay. Well,
hi
that's good. I'm
everybody.
hearing you loud and clear, and you got a pretty wild backdrop behind you. What's
I
that
know I
all
look like
about?
one of those Greek saints or something with the halo around the head,
Yeah, a watch coming
something
out of
like
your
that.
head.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when they take pictures of people in the trees coming out of their head. You've got
Right.
the
Okay.
watch coming out of your head.
Yeah. There you are. So
I have
that's
a
what's
question
going
about the
on.
Seikos before you get into this.
Uh-huh.
It we're talking about some high-end Seiko models where the
Okay.
quality is way up there and the price is up there. Is this a situation where, because they're kind of like a separate company than Grand Seiko, they want to also have some really high-end pieces that are comparable in quality to Grand Seiko? Is that what's going on, or what's the
Uh,
story there?
I think there's a certain rivalry, and the ones we're going to talk about today all have the spring drive movement, which had been proprietary to the Grand Seiko side. And we had a vice president here in the store on Friday of Seiko, and he somewhat alluded to the fact that there's a bit of I don't want to call it resentment, but an issue that Seiko has acquired the spring drive movement, and perhaps there's a feeling on the other side that it shouldn't be um, have crossed over into the Seiko world.
Oh
So
well, the more competition and all that, the better for us
right,
buyers.
yeah.
More
So
choices, more choices, right?
and the models I'm going to talk about aren't the most expensive Seikos. The SLA 35 and 37 are in these price point ranges, and they're not part of the LX collection. So,
Well, Triforce has a question, a quick one. Can you hear me?
yes.
He says, Steve, my wife is part Greek, which means her ancestors probably worshipped you. How many of you Olympians are wandering around among us mortals?
Well, there's just a handful. It's probably just a few more than who are LX dealers.
That's right,
So,
LX
yeah.
dealers. I like your shirt and tie combo. And by the way, your feed is sharp. You got the
Oh,
focus
really?
nailed,
Okay.
and your video quality is sharp.
Yep. I have a new monitor that helps me focus a little bit better.
Good.
So,
Kyle's in the house. He says, "Hey guys," and he says, "Hey to Steve."
hey, Kyle. Good to see you, and good crowd.
So, what do you got for us?
Okay, so I'm sort of reporting on our event here on Friday, which we had from 1 until about 6 p.m. And given the COVID thing, we wanted to go light on the in-house part of things. So we made a sort of small invite to existing customers for the most part, and then also went out and did a Zoom invite. So we did both. It was sort of a blended event. And we had David Wiezerek, who's the vice president of sales for Seiko here. Delightful guy, very well informed, and really gave a pretty good rundown on the pieces. So turns out there are about 8 LX dealers now. We've sort of joined the group, and there's I think 8 pieces in the collection at present. Excuse me, got a little
Bless you.
frog in the throat there. And we have all but one, and the one that we don't have I'll just put up a picture of, and I think I've shown this before. It was the first piece we got in the house, and I think now we've sold two of them. We're momentarily out, and this is the SNR 33. And as with all of the pieces in the collection, LX collection, it is titanium. The case is 44.8 millimeters. They all are. They vary in thickness depending upon the complication or lack thereof. And lug to lug at 50.9 millimeters. So not
Is that the
extremely
same
large in that
alloy?
dimension.
Is that the same alloy that Grand Seiko that my 231 uses?
I
Titanium?
cannot tell you that.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
And so it has, let me just move over to the next piece because I have a live piece and get you over there.
Question
So,
in the chat
anyway, just
is Steve
the
going to
SNR
post
30.
is Steve going to post the Zoom session? Question in the chat.
We're working on it. There was some
Okay.
lousy noise issues early on with paper a little too close to the thing, so it's
Okay.
a little annoying in the beginning, but I can, if you all want to see it,
Okay.
probably link it onto my a blog on my website.
And Tim says this is a very legible watch. So I guess he's talking about the one that's on the screen now. Yes, absolutely. It looks.
It is, and when you see the live piece, it is it's a chameleon, actually. The lower half of the bezel is blue and the top is black. And when you move it around, the blue can be like black, as you see in this photograph. It can turn into a baby blue or robin's egg blue. And it's a fascinating piece. It's probably one of the Grand Seikos with the most dynamic color shades and different lighting conditions.
And now
So,
you're sold out on that particular piece as of now?
yeah, we've reordered it. It's
Okay.
we'll be able to get it back in shortly, but it popped out just before the show,
And so these are kind of in and out. So if people do want one, they want to get an order down so they can guarantee they get the next unit coming in.
yeah, there's so few dealers because there's so low production.
Mm-hmm.
So they sometimes have to scrape to get the full collection to someone.
I think they're
So,
cool. I think they're cool.
Yep. Yeah, they are. And let me bring up the next piece, which I think I've shown briefly before. And this is the SNR 41.
Yeah, I prefer the
And
hands and the dial on this, to tell you the truth. There's just something about the look to that it kind of, maybe it's a little more conservative, but still extremely legible. That's
right.
a
And,
nice looking piece.
yeah, lacking the GMT function.
Exactly.
And, yeah,
Makes it a little
and
bit cleaner looking.
it has a Cermet bezel insert, and which is a metal and ceramic mix. And someone has posted somewhere that there's gold in that mix to give it that unique sort of mocha color. It's a very interesting piece.
And so that one
it
you
is
have in stock.
I have it in stock, and it's very limited, 200 pieces worldwide.
Now, how thick is that one?
This one is 15.7 millimeters.
So it is definitely a beast of a tool watch.
It is, but they're all titanium, so...
Probably 22 millimeter wide bracelet at the case, right?
Yes, I believe 22, 21.
Because that's what my 231 is.
Right. And so 3-link bracelet, interestingly, all brushed.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
I like that.
And Zaratsu polishing on the case mixed with brushed, and pretty conservatively. So in comparing them with the Grand Seiko, they do have the Zaratsu polishing. They do have the spring drive accurate to 15 seconds a month or better. So there are a lot of elements that are comparable in many ways. Okay,
Well,
just
yeah,
like
and that, like in comparison to my 231, that's even more of a tool watch, even more of a massive, that's 300 meter, mine's 200
mhm,
meter.
yeah,
That's a bigger watch, thicker watch. For somebody who wants, a watch with more presence, I mean, for me, mine has just the right amount of presence. I'm
right,
good, but some people want something that's a little more massive.
yeah, and they are it. So uh, let's go on to.
And Tim says this watch won Best Dive Watch 2020, or the black version did, in an
Well,
international
that's coming up
competition.
next. You got the jump on me, so let me move this over. And yeah, this
So now the picture that you're showing on the screen, you're using the
I'm
media
just
media
yeah, I
player
just
to
moved
show
you
that,
back
right?
to the first one to the first. So just to prevent you from seeing the
Yeah.
jostling around. So here is the piece that won the grand prize of horology of Geneva, the GPGH prize in Switzerland in 2019, the year that they introduced the line, the
Hmm.
LX line. And so, of all the dive watches, all the the big brands, the Rolexes, the Breguets, the whoever,
Hmm.
this was once again a Japanese victory in the nest of Switzerland. So,
In the
lovely
belly of
piece.
the beast.
Belly of the beast. That's you got the right word there.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is the SNR
By the way,
029.
I've been venturing into the belly of the beast and posting some 002 photos in Tim Masso's group on Facebook.
Uh, uh-oh. Yeah, that is the belly of the beast. So,
But they like it. They like the 002 there. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So this one retails for $6,000, and if you just want to compare it with the 31, the all titanium piece, dive piece, and Grand Seiko, that's another $1,100. So
well, here's the thing. If somebody wants a beefy tool watch, right, that is still comfortable on wrist because of the titanium, and they can't get a sub. They're sold out everywhere, right? You can't get a Submariner if you want one.
mhm.
But they want something different. They want something heavy duty to use as an absolute tool watch. My gosh, what better solution?
Mhm.
I can see why it would win an award. Triforce Rich asked, Steve, has the 002 sold yet?
Regrettably, no. Probably due to the fact we have reduced in-store traffic, so a lot of people have not have the opportunity to see it and try it on. But
How many
undoubtedly,
people in the United States of America would you estimate have seen an 002 in person?
probably 100 and something like that.
If that.
In the boutiques, sure they
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah. Okay.
In passing, let's say.
Okay. Gotcha.
So not a
So
lot.
not a big number
No,
when
no.
you consider there's 340 million people.
Yeah. So that is the
Tim says,
GPH.
congrats on being appointed dealer for the LX line. Took Seiko too long to make that decision, in my opinion. But now they're very
Oh,
happy they did, right?
um, I'm not sure they quite registered who we were. I
Mhm.
think they very well know now.
Gotcha.
I think we had a very the senior management on the Seiko side had not been in our store before, and we had a very pleasant meeting with Mr. Wieserick, and more to come. So
Well,
uh,
it is a stunning operation
yeah.
and a first
So
class staff. So,
well, thank you, thank you. We think so too. So let's go back
and I'm
and
sure it's because they take after your wife.
right, not after this old guy. So all right, here is a lovely piece that seems to want to fall over.
Now, Triforce Rich is nibbling at the 002. He says, honestly, the 002 is phenomenal and stunning, but GS really screwed up the pricing. I've seen it in person. I would consider buying it if they priced it more reasonably. Maybe he needs to have a conversation with you.
Maybe. You can give me a call. See what
He's
we can
a
do.
wrench member. Steve will sharpen his pencil.
Has Triforce gone ahead with his wedding already?
I don't know, but if he hasn't, that would be the
That'd be
watch
a
to wear.
Perfect wedding watch.
Yeah. Some
Okay.
gold cufflinks with it.
Yep. I think it'd be fabulous. I might even come out and deliver it in person.
That's
Give a
the way to
little
do
talk.
that. Absolutely.
Give a little talk at your wedding. So
Hey, that's a heck of a deal,
yeah,
Triforce.
it is. So
Have an actual Olympian at your wedding.
right. From Mount Olympus.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, Mount Ararat in my case.
Okay.
So this is a terrific piece. This is
Now, before you get on to that, I do have to make a comment about the 002. Here's the thing. Yes, it's pricey, but once you've secured it and it's on your wrist within relatively short order, no matter months, you forget all about what you paid for it and you still have the watch. So there's that.
and you're still happy, right?
I'm happy as a you-know-what and you-know-what. And like I say, I've long since forgotten the cost, and I love it, and it is a keeper. I'll probably have it the rest of my life. So there you go.
Well, I hope you do. I
What
hope
difference?
it's a long-
So at that point, what difference does it make what it cost?
Right. Okay. Next up, this is the SNR 031. It is titanium, but it's got a black, I assume, DLC finish, not specified in the Seiko literature.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a ceramic bezel insert and rubber strap. And this is a real winner, in my opinion. It's just really, really good looking piece.
It's certainly got a look to it. Yeah. So if people like that look, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, there are a couple of comments here we'll catch up on. Triforce says, I got married a few weeks ago. My wife wears the Seiko on a custom leather strap. Haha, I'd have loved to have Steve at the wedding. Not in the market for a watch now, but maybe in a few years. There you go.
Years.
Yeah. Steve says, I don't know. I don't have that many years left. Come on over
Right.
now.
Right.
Jeez.
You gotta hurry up, my friend.
We don't even buy green bananas anymore. That's how far
Maybe
ahead
you
we
should be
plan.
working more than hanging out on Craig's site.
There you go. Leon's in the house. In regards to the SNR 033, other than the titanium case, is there any other special thing about it that would make somebody choose it over paying $300 more for the Grand Seiko SBGE 201?
Well, titanium versus steel, for one.
So he
and,
said other than that.
Well, other than the titanium case. Well, I think the design is quite a bit different. Some people actually have problems with the conformation of the SBGE 201, and this gives you a very different setup.
Well, what do you mean by conformation? The legibility?
I wish I had the 201 here. It sort of slopes in from the bezel, and has a little bit of unusual shape. Let's
Okay.
put it that way. And some people feel it's sort of like a pie plate kind of thing. You have a lot of upper surface, and then it slopes down in the case.
Gotcha. Okay, Rich, congratulations. Leon says,
Okay.
Craig, but why buy that for $20,000 when you can get that 18 karat gold lawn jeans for about $8,000 from Little Treasury and you can take the extra money that you saved and invest it. Why? Okay, I'll give you the quick reasons why. I love the spring drive in the 002. I love the accuracy of it. I've gotten spoiled by the accuracy of my 231. I like the sweep of that second hand. I love the snowflake dial. The case shape just molds to the wrist beautifully. The clasp, the deployant clasp works just, it's fantastic to put on and off wrist, and it looks great on wrist. And it is the most comfortable watch I've ever owned. Other than those points, you're right, there's no reason to own it. But those are a lot of points in its favor.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's probably the finest dress watch ever made by any manufacturer.
Ooh.
And I've said that before, and we've debated it on this channel, and nobody's been able to suggest a watch that trumps it by any maker.
Okay. Let's move forward.
Steve says that's a pretty bold statement.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a...
While you're bringing that up, so tell me, when you first saw the 002, what was your impression, Steve?
Well, I try to recall where I first saw it. Usually I see it with a raft of other pieces. Of course, it's beautiful.
Well, let's say when you first got the ones in stock and inventory, when you really had them.
We loved it. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece, and nothing quite like it. So, and I'm glad it's on your wrist, and here's another one here for someone else's wrist. There
you go. Triforce Rich says, Steve, I've already bought 2 GSs from you anymore, and I'll be going to your events as an alternative soup kitchen. Well, yeah, he has great food, absolutely, at his events. You know, come hungry, okay, to Steve's event. Do not bring a bag lunch. That's a tip. That's a pro tip. Don't bring a bag lunch to Steve's event. And he says, also, I look forward to many more years working with you. Age is just a number. Yeah, I was just funning Steve. He's going to be around indefinitely. Only the good die young, folks. So we don't have to worry about Steve going anywhere.
Yeah, and I appreciate those Grand Seiko's Triforce for sure. And congratulations. I've been really registered that you had finished up with your event, and I hope it really worked out well for you. So.
Steve first saw the 002 when Zeus and Odin had a competition to see who could forge the finest jewel.
Oh, there you are. Waxing poetic here. So, all right, what do we have here? We have...
Is that a Brooks Brothers shirt?
It may well be. It's one of my older ones. Yeah, possibly.
I like the roll to the collar. It looks like a Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah.
4 in hand. You know, the whole shtick.
And Ray sent a photo that we'll look at after we wrap up with you. He emailed a photo of a pic of the LX Loom.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we are at the SNR 035, and it's all black also, and it is a GMT with a bidirectional bezel. Very smooth action, I might add, and really smooth. And although these are the same size as the non-black pieces, they look much smaller. Given the coloration.
Okay. And Briefette Dance is in the house. She says hello. Leon says, Steve, so what was the swag that Little Jewelry gave out for the LX show?
We had one of those rechargeable batteries. There was a watch case. They had some really nice up-to-date catalogs, which if someone sends me their address, I'll send them to you for the Presage and Prospex, beautiful, up-to-date things we haven't had for a while.
Steve
And
at Steve at littletreasury.com.
yeah, and
Okay.
send your whole address and everything. We can send you one. And one other piece that slips my mind right now.
Was there
So
food? Food?
there was some food. We didn't, just because of the COVID thing, we went light on it. There was single malt Japanese whiskey, however.
Oh, well, there you go. Who needs
Sir.
food?
Yeah. And someone got a bottle of it.
Oh, okay.
But that someone bought 4 of these watches.
There you go.
At one
4
swipe.
LX watches.
Yeah.
How many does that gentleman have total?
Of watches?
LXs.
Many.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
If
let's
you
move
have
on.
to ask, then, you don't need to know.
Right. Okay. I'm going to bring up not too many more to go, guys. This is the SNR 025, and very sporty look. It's another GMT. It has the compass points on the bidirectional rotating bezel, and a pretty neat yellow hand there, GMT hand.
You need to switch to it. We're still seeing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're looking at my face. So there you are. Okay.
Yeah, that's completely different looking.
Very different. Yep. And that comes in at even 5,000.
And that's also titanium. All
Everything
these
is
are, All these are
titanium.
titanium.
Like
There you go. I think it's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Leon says, will the catalogs be there in the store? I can come around to pick up a copy of those catalogs.
Yes, of course. But are you sure you want them?
Well,
You weren't too keen on them. But you're welcome to have them.
well, yeah. Hey, once
Or
he's
several,
once he's
for
got
your
the
friend.
catalog, and then he keeps looking at them.
It
He
might inspire him.
he might become smitten.
Yeah.
Okay, View Service in the
Leon,
house. That's a
how about-
great background for Steve.
I didn't. Oh, okay.
The
Well, Bruce was
background
just on.
that you
Okay.
had, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Ray is in the house. Lux swag also included. Real cool 12-ounce can thermos.
Oh, right. That was probably the nicest thing. I forgot all about it.
Did that have Little Treasury on it?
No, we just got it from Seiko. I think almost the morning of the event, so we hadn't even seen.
Did they have Seiko on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tim says, ask Seiko for a bottle of Nika whiskey from Sapporo next time.
Okay. We had Hibiki.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Leon says, I collect Seiko catalogs.
Oh, good. Okay, so here we have another black dial, a GMT, on a leather bracelet, leather strap. Very soft, supple, leather, different look.
It looks like it's a padded leather strap.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And by the way, once the dust settles a little bit, are you going to get some straps in stock from HD Straps?
When the dust settles, the dust hasn't
Okay.
settled in a couple of months, my friend.
Okay.
You know that we're just flat out.
Because when my strap wears out, I'm going to need a replacement strap. Just saying.
We'll get you one.
Okay, so Nika whiskey is better, says Tim. He's straightening you out.
Okay. And who's saying this?
Tim McDonald.
Okay. Nico, but I haven't seen any of that. So
Nikka.
final piece. And this is brand new. Just got it for the show.
That is a stunner.
It is.
I have to say, that is a stunner, because that dial is green as well. You can't really tell. But the dial's green as well, correct?
I can tell very clearly on my monitor.
On the broadcast, it looks kind of green, but now, how green is it compared to the bezel?
It's a
Darker
really,
green.
It's very green.
So, but the bezel is a brighter green, or are they the same?
They're really the same.
So it's just the lighting that makes it hard to see. See,
I have,
that's the way Rolex should have done it. Their new one with the green bezel, the dial's black. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know why in the world they did that.
Yeah.
This is the way it should have been done.
A limited piece, 500 pieces, and it has this texture, which is supposed to on the dial, which is supposed to represent some mossy environment where Japanese scientists have studied. I don't have the exact reference in my head, but as with many of the special dials, they refer to the natural environment, and it's pretty effective. I'm a green watch aficionado.
That is stunning. That is absolutely stunning. Now, those hands, are those also titanium, like they are on the 231?
That's a good question, and I have no idea.
I would guess they probably are. On the 231, they are. And titanium is extremely anti-corrosive, so it's a very good choice. So Rolex has discontinued the Hulk, so people should get this one. There you go.
You are.
Well, this watch is stunning, and it has many advantages over the Hulk. That is just absolutely amazing. Again, for somebody who wants a big watch, Steve pointed out early on that these are all big watches. So,
yeah,
you
all 44.8 millimeters, and
you have to want the presence.
Yeah, and they're not top heavy.
How thick is this one?
That piece is 15.7 millimeters.
So it's just a big watch, and you say they're not top heavy. That's because the bracelet is pretty significant. So it stays balanced.
There's a lot of weight, sort of toward the base of the watch.
Okay.
And it doesn't tend to rotate on your wrist.
Okay. And what about the clasp on that?
That has the special ratcheting clasp.
So it has the same clasp, really, as the 231.
Yeah.
Which I like. Yeah, I didn't like it initially, but after 2 weeks of using it, I was like, hey, this is great. Remember I told you when I first got the watch, hey, how can I change the clasp?
About it.
And then I kept using it, and I'm like, wow, this is great. Forget about changing the clasp.
Yeah. So you got aboard finally. So
I'm impressed. Now, how many people come in interested in those pieces and see the 231 and leave with the 231?
Well, we've only had almost all of them for 3 days now, so
not enough time to tell.
Right. So we will see, but people are liking them quite well, and as we sold several nicely at the event, and look forward to.
Of all those, the green one would be the one that I would go for.
I think I would favor that, and this the black one on a rubber strap, which is just really neat and really good looking. Which is the
now that rubber strap, is that all rubber, or does it have metal in the middle of it, or anything reinforcing it, or is it just all rubber?
It's all rubber, but it's very nice.
Okay.
And it's the SNR 031. And one of our strong collectors has his eye on this one already. It sort of surprised him, but he really loves it, and I suspect he's going to end up getting it.
Now, which one?
This one, the SNR 025.
Show it. You're still on the screen.
Sorry, I'm showing me again. So
it's all about Steve. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So you have one of your regulars that's interested in that one.
He really, really got on it.
Now, is it lightweight?
Very.
Okay. And that's
Especially
titanium with
rubber.
a coating on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin
very nice
Kevin
piece.
Nigel says, morning, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Can't stay for the show. See ya. Okay, so
Okay, hi.
he just popped in to say hi. That's all right. You can watch it on the rerun.
Uh-huh. He must be where?
If it's morning, he's somewhere over in Asia, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
I would think. Maybe Australia. That's possible.
Okay.
And Triforce Rich says that all black diver is very sleek.
It really is. It contends with the green one for my favor.
I bet you it could take some abuse, too.
Yeah, I think so. So.
All right. I'm impressed. I'll stick with my
Okay.
231, but I'm definitely impressed. There are some pieces that would be tempting.
Mm-hmm. Little overlap with your 231. So, all right.
And do you usually keep the 231 in stock also?
Yeah, and we are going to be ramping up our stock dramatically in the near future. We have
Okay.
about 50 pieces and Grand Seikos in stock. We're going to have close to everything.
Okay, good.
Not too far out. So expanding the collection.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it here first. Steve is all in. He's all in. So you want a Grand Seiko, he's the man to talk to. Simple as that.
Or a Seiko.
Or Seiko. It's not
or an Omega, or a Vermont, or an Oris, or a Domos, or whatever.
Now, what do you have for ladies? What are the go-to brands that most of the ladies coming in are buying?
Longines has a great ladies line for the more fashion-oriented. We have Michelle. Frederic Constant has a lot of classic ladies' watches. And we sell a good number of Nomos watches, the little square ones that the kind my wife wears.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There you go. So something for the ladies too, folks. When you
most
pop
of the watches,
in,
of course, are men's, but we do take care of the ladies as well.
yeah. So what they do is they go in, they buy a real nice watch for themselves, buy a nice watch for the lady, and then when they get home, they present the watch to the lady first. Right?
There's not a lot of them, but
I think that's the way to do it. Present it to the lady, and then after she has her watch on wrist and loves it and so forth, then let her see the watch that you got for yourself.
right. So you don't take too bad a beating.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
But that doesn't happen as often as it should, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get these guys straightened out so it starts happening.
But we do have quite a few ladies right now purchasing surprise watches for husbands.
Okay. Now, Kyle says, do you have those 40 millimeter GS GMTs, the blue one?
I think we just got it back in stock. If it's out of stock, it is briefly out of stock.
Okay.
So some of the times they pop out, and then they're always reordered immediately.
Okay. I need to get down to Beverly Hills and try it on. Yeah, try it on, Kyle. See how well that thing works out, and please give us a report. And if you can report live, do that too. That would be cool as well. I don't know if they'll let you, but if you can, that would be cool. Kyle sometimes Skypes in live
Yep, I've
from
seen.
Rodeo Drive.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, thank you.
Leave and start packing up to go home. And thanks, everybody, and catch you again soon.
Congratulations on your event and your new franchise.
Good. Thank you so much. Take care.
Carry on. Okay, there you go. Just like that. Steve in the house live. Absolutely amazing that he is expanding. You heard it. He is expanding. And he also mentioned to me in a brief conversation earlier, that he's going to be expanding his Grand Seiko display. He just did a whole new boutique or whatever you want to call it for the Grand Seiko that's beautiful, and he's going to be expanding on that and expanding on the Seiko display. And you just heard him say that he's going to be stocking in even more watches, more inventory. So it's pretty amazing to see somebody this aggressively moving forward in spite of, you know, the virus situation, right? In spite of that. That's fantastic. I love to see it. People pushing forward. Let's see. Busurf says, the problem with the Beverly Hills ID is that it's a little cramped. It's a very rectangular space. Lance says, send a link to... Okay, we're going to look at these emails real quick before we wrap up, because I think we've got a couple of emails. Okay, so let's do the loom first that Ray sent in. Here is the loom. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Of course, that even trumps my 231, because my 231 doesn't have the 10 and 20 loomed. Doesn't have any of the... I think there's the very top has a little loomed thing, the little pearl or whatever it is. I think that's loomed, but that is yeah. I mean, that's absolutely stunning. And let's see. Okay, Steve's responding to Kyle. Sent a pic of the swag. We'll look at that. I sent a link to the stunning gold Omega. We'll look at that. Kyle, the SNR 045 is 6,000. Viasurf says, yeah, they had to pull the 002 out of the closet for me. Kyle says, thanks, Steve. I'll report back after trying it on. Kyle, if you try that GSGMT, it would be great to get your thoughts on it, like its weight and thickness. Absolutely. Please report to the channel here. Triforce Rich is in the house. You saw the 002 in person. Was it a religious experience? I thought I found the Holy Grail. Kyle says, true, that 80 is small, but the guys that work there are also great. Xavier and Alex, okay. Yes, it was enlightening, Rich. It gave me a new perspective on life, the 002. Yeah, if you ever see an 002 in person, it does change everything. It changes everything. So, all right, let's look at this Seamaster that the Lancer sent in. The Lancer. He sent in a Seamaster to look at. It is kind of cool. It is kind of cool. Yeah. My first impression is it is kind of cool. Oh, it's got a deployant clasp. Oh, the plot thickens. 39 mil. Kyle, are you seeing this? Earth to Kyle. Earth to Kyle. It doesn't look that thick either. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is super cool. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, if I didn't already have a gold stunner, Lance is the man. I have to tell you. Lance is the man. If I didn't already have a gold stunner, let's add this to my thingamajig here. That is a heck of a price. 18 karat gold with a deployant? Where is it? He's in the United States. Let's get the full details on this. It's a great size, 39 mil. Yellow gold, crocodile. Okay. Man. What's not to like there? All right. 2 thumbs up on that. Bree says, nice Omega. Yeah, if it was smaller and would fit the Breester, that I would probably be clicking the buy it now button. Try for search Craig B serve. You should buy Craig's, and then Craig can buy the one at Little Treasury. I like it, but I need a bracelet. I would not consider leather band. Okay. Yeah, but Kyle, this thing is hot. And I'll tell you what, I was saying the same thing you said, Kyle. I was not enamored with a strap, but I love a deployant clasp on a leather strap. It just works. It works great. And they hold up a lot better than you might think. And it's so easy to replace the leather portion. Just order another strap from HD Straps and replace it out and you're good to go. And see, the problem is if you buy something like this that's all gold, you're going to get the bracelet stretch, and then what do? Right? This you're not going to get any bracelet stretch, right? The clasp is probably going to hold up great, and there's nothing else to stretch. So I think there's a valid case to be made for that type of a situation. Let's see here. Okay, I like it. Okay, the Omega deployants are cool because the excess strap tucks in under the buckle and out of sight. Okay. Kyle says, I'm still thinking nothing we have seen compares to Brett's watch. Well, I mean, my gosh. Yeah, his gold date chest. Yeah, duh. But again, if he wears that a lot, eventually he's going to get stretch in that bracelet. It also has a screw-down crown, says Lance. Try for switch. Craig, you missed Buserv's comment above about funding his 002 purchase. Whether I saw something about somebody buying it and then, oh, okay, Buserv says, yes, I'm thinking about selling my car and taking public transit to fund the 002 purchase. Absolutely. Cars are not, they're just a depreciating asset. The watch you can wear all the time and get pleasure and enjoyment out of all the time. Definitely sell the car and get the watch. I agree with that. Let's see, emailed the GPS unit I ended up with. Can't promise a review. It would take 2 hours to summarize what the unit does, Mr. Q. SS Stunner, Thurston Howell III. All right, let me see this. Let me see this email here. But so far, Lance is taking the cake for the email of the day. Lance, that was a find. Okay, here's the swag. Here's the picture of the swag. Absolutely. Abso-positively-lutely. All right, and then let's check out this other picture. And by the way, what I'm doing, the way I'm navigating now, is I'm using the trackpad because the trackpad on this 2010 MacBook Pro is getting like, you got to like hit it hard, right? It's like going downhill. So I'm just using the trackpad and this is working great. Okay, so there's the GPS unit. Okay, kind of cool, kind of cool. I can relate. Let's make sure we're not missing anything else because we're going to wrap this puppy up pretty soon here, folks. Get your last minute questions in. Okay, Triforce. Craig, will you sell your 002 to Buserv and just buy the other off Steve? He needs more DNA. Too many failed experiments. Can you play tennis in the 002? I'm sure you could. I don't know that I would, but I'm sure you could. I already said that if somebody were to buy the 231 off of me, if a wrench member were to make an offer on the 231 and this were to find a new home, I already said that I would be as bold as to wear the 002 all the time. Except when I'm sleeping. I'd take it off when I was sleeping, but I would wear it all the time. All the freaking time. I don't care if I'm out cleaning the car, working in the yard, whatever the heck I'm doing, I would just wear that thing all the time. It'd just be like a beater. I think it would be so cool to just wear that all the time and just not worry about it, and just, even if I jumped in the water, it's 30 meters water resistant, right? I'll test that concept, right? If I had to go in the H2O with it, I'd do that too. And I'd have several extra straps from HD Straps. And, I might even occasionally put it on a NATO. So there you go. Yeah, that would be pretty wild. What do you think? Would that be bold to do that? Let's see. I think Carlos wants the 002. Actually, I think he's experimenting with making clones of me. Kyle's in the house. The gold bracelet adds to the wow factor. Without a gold bracelet, it is lacking. Nah, I tell you what, people that have seen my 002 so far, I can tell they've been ogling it. It's got the same wow factor as my Date 8 had. They ogle that thing. That thing screams money. It just does. It absolutely. But you got to be well dressed. You got to have the whole package, right? You're well dressed. You got the 002 on wrist. They catch that gold. They catch the edge of that case through your cuff, and they see that Zaratsu polishing, and they're like, "Whoa, oh!" It's a direct contact. Okay, let's see. It's beyond just functions, says Kyle in the house. Gold bracelets are for up-and-coming hustlers. Leather band on gold watch is for grandpas. There you go. Or for people that are eat up with class. Kyle says agreed. Triforce Rich says, now you have to buy the 231. I need to see Craig jump in the pool with the 002. I would absolutely do it. I would absolutely do it. I would have that thing. That thing would be beat up. It would have dings all over it and stuff. It would be like, I love that. I love the look of a heavily used 18 karat gold watch. I think it's so eat up with class, for somebody to just, it's like somebody was just given the watch as a gift, and they just think of it as a watch, right? They just wear it, right? They don't baby it. They don't, I think that's the way it should be. I think watches should just be worn, and if they get dings on them and stuff and things like that, it's just, they don't even think about it. I think that's the way it should be. Let's see. Mr. Q says that gold Omega won't last 24 more hours, a real find. How long do we know that it's been listed? I mean, is it a new listing? Do we know that? A lot of people don't want 18 karat yellow gold watches for some reason. God knows. I'm glad. It means that those of us that like them can buy them easily. I think that's a good thing. I don't want to be buying what all the other yamokes out there are buying. They want to all buy steel Rolexes and pay too much money for them. I'll buy gold. I'll buy a gold Omega. If I didn't have the 002, I'd probably be clicking the buy now button right now. Buy that puppy. Let's see here. Craig, I think young women everywhere see your 002 and want to rip off their clothes and jump on you. I'll tell you what, young ladies love the 002. That is no joke. They absolutely love the 002. Craig, give me back my wrench. It's the real me, vetted by Carlos. Yeah, right. All right, I don't think we're going to fall for that. Joey's in the house. Craig, you caught my two-tone Datejust on Facebook. Craig, you caught my two-tone Datejust on Facebook. Joey, I don't remember. Oh, Lance just sent some other emails here. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, here now this one, the dial looks kind of busy on the. I'm not that enamored with that dial. Maybe it's a lousy picture. Maybe it looks better in person, but yeah, I'm not enamored with the look of this watch. I hate to say it. But that dial just looks First of all, I'm not a big fan of gold dials. I like more contrast, like more like a white dial with it or something. So yeah, I don't know about that one. Okay, so let's go look and see what else we've got here. And Omega Deville, 34 mil. Now this one is interesting. This one is interesting. For a dress watch like that, I'd rather not have the date, to tell you the truth, personally. I don't like having to set the date when I pick up my dress watch to go out or whatever. But that's not hateful. Not hateful. Not a hateful piece. Lance is coming up with some goodies today. He's coming up with some good. I'm not going to add that to my wish list, though. It's not cool enough for that. The imposter can't even get the name right. Triforce Rich Craig, I think you should start vlogging. Have a camera strapped to yourself or hire a camera crew to follow you around 24/7. We're thinking about that. Bree and I were talking about that, actually, the other day. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Next best thing, we went on a hike. Did you see the video we posted here on the channel? On a hike up the mountain? There you go. We went on a hike here in the backyard. Okay, all right. We're going to wrap it up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it. And hey, we did mention the lovely Lady Bree. Let's show her website. What the heck? We'll show her website, BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com. Go there. Follow her. Do all of that good stuff. Oh, Joey sent an email. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up. Give me a moment here. And then we will wrap it up. Oh, there's actually 2 emails here. BuServe sent one. Okay. This is okay. I'm not a big fan of the way they attach the lugs to the case. It almost looks like they're stuck on. I like it to more flow into the case. Some people like this look, but I'm not a fan of it personally. But yeah, it's not hateful, and look how thin they are. That's what's really cool. They are thin. But it goes to show you, you can get some beautiful 18 karat gold dress watches, yeah, without breaking the bank. And what is the size of this one? What is the size? 34 mil. So see, that would possibly be one for the lovely Lady Bree. Let's add it to the watch list. I don't think it's a front runner because actually she really does want a 9F movement because she wants the grab and go capability, but I added it to my watch list anyway. I added it to the watch list anyway. Okay, let's grab this other email here. Okay, and here's the this Joey sent this one in. Nice looking date, just absolutely. Again, I would rather have like the silver dial or one of the other dial colors, but that's not, I mean, that's the classic, the gold. I mean, there's nothing shabby about that. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it up. Let's see. BeerServe says, I see a lot of pervos commenting on Bree's videos, but I guess that's the price you pay for fame. Well, yeah, there's some trolls in the basement, you know, with the short arms, and they do some trolling here and there. But and if they get too out of line, we block them. If they get too out of line, we block them. But yeah, there's some of them are you know, they have issues. Cosplays Craig, you have to at least admit that without a heavy discount on the O2, you can have Brett stay just the Omega Lance sent in and a 231 for the retail price of the O2. Well, you wouldn't pay retail, Kyle. I don't think you would want to pay retail. I'll put it that way. But here's the thing. Here's the problem, Kyle. None of the watches you mention can trump the 002. I mean, they're nice watches, but they don't. I'm sorry, they just don't trump the 002. None of them. The Datejust is a 36 millimeter gold Datejust. I mean, it's okay, but it's not on the level of an 002. It's just not even there. And it depends on what you want the watch for. If you want a straight up dress watch, which is what I wanted in the 002, this absolutely trumps the Datejust, in my opinion. It's definitely a dress watch, and no ifs, ands, or buts. And it's more elegant. It's thinner by a long shot. It's for my wrist, it's a perfect size, 38.5 mils. The deployment class works great. It looks very elegant with a suit. So now, if I wanted an all-arounder, absolutely go with the Datejust, right? But that's not what I wanted to buy. So yeah, that's the situation there. Let's see. Craig, you should do an MTV type My Crib video and show us around the house. You have some interesting dolls and toys. What is the story behind those? Where did the teddy bear come from? I don't know where that teddy bear came from, to tell you the truth. And yeah, I don't want to show people around. I already shown enough that, we have security issues as it is, where we have to, have significant security here at the compound. And I don't want to show any more than I already have and tempt people even more to try to breach our perimeter. Bew serves in the house. Bree doesn't need a quartz, just get her a watch winder. Yeah, I hate watch winders. Lance is in the house, sent one more watch, the most stunning Omega yet. All right, well, look, Mr. Q's in the house. The model that would work for Craig going live to little Treasury, country clubs, and shopping around. There you go. We might do some of that. Mr. Q's in the house. I believe you're right. He can start with a GoPro as a pilot episode. Mr. Q, Craig is a camera whiz. He'll do it right straight off the bat. Triforce in the house. Okay, all right, let's look and see what we've got for here for the last photo. Omega, full gold, Aquaterra. Oh, stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned for an Aquaterra. Whoa, okay. It's loading in. As soon as it loads, okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. Here we go, folks. I think the photo's not that good. I don't think that the dial is that dark looking. I think it's the photo's terrible. I'm not, these are nice, but I'm just not blown away by the case shape and the lug shape. It's okay. It's just kind of like, all right, it's just there. And even the design of the bracelet, I kind of prefer the way the bracelets are designed on the Rolex, the Datejust, or the President bracelet. This one looks kind of, I don't know. It's just, there's something about the design of it and all. It just doesn't look as eat up with class as a Datejust with a Jubilee bracelet, like Brett's, or a Date 8 with a President bracelet. It just doesn't... It just doesn't get the job done, in my opinion. I don't know how well they hold up. I don't know how well they resist stretch. That could be a thing if they have an advantage in that area. But just the overall look, it just doesn't... see, just the shape of that and all. It's not as sexy as an oyster case. I have to be real on the channel, folks. I have to be real on the channel. I have to call it the way I see it. Life is too short for me to try to snow you. Okay, I can't do that. Not going to do that on the channel. Let's see here. Okay, those teddy bears are trophies from his previous conquests. Be served. Most likely he would. Okay, all right. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for Steve to coming on. We'll catch you guys next time. Make sure you click subscribe and click the little bell.